Kevin Smith and his wife, Jen Schwalbach, have traveled the globe, selling out theaters left and right. The Secret Stash now proudly presents one sold-out night in London, available on vinyl, as in that thing you put on a turntable. Plus one, Murica. Crank up some goddamn funny storytelling, recounting the night that one of Smodco's royal family OD'd on weed. Pick up Plus One, Murica, in regular or limited autographed editions, available exclusively on jayandsilentbob.com. Here are the latest dates to catch a live Smodco show, courtesy of csmod.com. July 19th, HBO gets geeky at the House of Blues in San Diego during Comic-Con. The super groovy cartoon movie invades Louisville, Kentucky on July 24th, Austin on the 25th, and on the 26th, Kev and Ralph skewer the celebs with HBO at the Hollywood Improv. The groovy movie makes a return engagement to LA at the New Beverly on July 27th. And looking ahead to August, the animated tour makes a pit stop in Richmond on August 24th and Charlotte, North Carolina on August 25th. And on September 14th, the groovy cartoon movie invades Montreal Comic-Con. Remember, ticket links to all of these dates can be found at csmod.com.
I'm like Mike when Ming attacks him. He's like, why? Why, friend?
There's no doubt those dudes are gay. For each other.
Oh, I don't mean to drop knowledge, but have you ever heard of Kevin Smith?
Tell him, Steve Dave.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Tell 'em Steve Dave, an abbreviated version, I imagine. We have no BQ. He's off making TV. So instead we pop in a Ming Chen for you. But we do have a Walt Flanagan. So,
Barely.
Yeah, barely. Ming recovered quicker than you did to this Kovalchuk news. There's going to be a little bit puck nuts, a little bit Tell 'em Steve Dave, just a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, baby.
I thought we were going to have our suicide of the week. When I saw Ming yesterday.
I was stunned, man. I mean, not to...
I see, that was more true emotion. I guess more because, maybe I call it true because I don't really see you other than that bubbly, peppy guy.
The Ming Chen that most people see.
Yeah, so to see you, and I came across you, I knew already, but I didn't know you knew. And you were looking at me, and I thought you were going to tell me something. The weight on your face was so much heavier than I thought it would be too.
They're gone. My family's gone.
I really thought he was going to tell me, and I can't even tell you. I don't know if you could see it on my face, but I really thought something was horribly wrong. Like you said, did you hear the news? Like a dirty bomb went off in New York City.
Right. He couldn't process what he had just heard. Yeah.
It really looked like that. And then he goes, "Did you hear the news?" And then I realized what he was talking about. I was like, "Oh, you mean Kovalchuk?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I was like,
"That's it." You were like, "That's it."
No, I'm upset by it. I mean, it really does.
You seem more stymied by it, more befuddled. Like, what is going on here? Something doesn't quite.
For anybody who doesn't follow hockey, Ilya Kovalchuk was a Russian hockey player who the Devils gave up a king's ransom for. They were fined by the league for circumventing the cap, which, if you don't know what that means, it's a long story, not even worth saying. But the Devils gave up a lot to get him, a ton. And not including $100 million.
They could have gotten other really good players had they not put all their eggs in one basket with this.
Well, they definitely put their eggs in one basket. But there's people out there who say it cost them another player who left the team. Who felt slighted by the Devils being so in love with this one player. But what really is shocking is how does a person walk away from $77 million?
It's nuts, right?
It's nuts.
Ming, you were trying to say that he'll get just as much there, and he won't be taxed.
It's easy to walk away from $77 million when you know you could get $100.
Right.
and be in your home country.
100 million rubles.
Yes.
He'll be getting.
I know he doesn't have to pay tax on it. And bro, did you read the report with the interview with Brodeur on Fire and Ice?
No.
He claimed that Kobe was never recovered from the lockout when the players came back from the lockout. The players gave up a certain percentage of their contract, whatever they signed for, a certain percent was taken off as part of the deal to come back. The owners want it. Well, let's say we've given you $100 million. We want you to give. I think it was 10%,
something like that. It was
7%.
It was no small change.
No small change. So he was upset about that the players' union agreed to that, and something about escrow.
Yes,
and he's upset. He was upset. Brodeur said about how much the government takes from him in taxes. But how much does one man really need, though?
But can you imagine, like, a Russian is like, American capitalism is bullshit. That's saying something, man.
Yeah, Sunday Jeff was beside himself. He's never, not that he wouldn't curse in a text, but he just doesn't, he's not going to waste his time writing a curse in a text.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Never seen it happen before. And he texted me with a curse-laden text, which has told me that he was as angry as I've ever heard him in a text, at least.
Well, it's interesting because you're reading him off to me, and it's like at first it was like he was very dismissive, like, well, fuck him then, let him go back to Russia. And then it became more and more xenophobic and angry.
Never trust a Russian.
And
Really?
Yeah, he wrote that.
Better dead than red.
Wow.
Yeah, so he didn't take it lightly.
The team, I think, is going to have some difficulties overcoming this. I mean, they've got to make the playoffs this year because they're going to lose that pick unless Lou fights the losing of the pick this year. I think he's got a strong case if he would try to fight it. I mean, how can you let other teams do what the Devils did and not find them and then go after them? I always thought, and it leads to the conspiracy theories. Why didn't he give up the pick when they went when they were 2 games away from the Cup? He would give away the 29th pick in the draft.
Yeah,
Why didn't he give it away then? There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that like the Devils knew this was going to. I mean, I don't buy that, but there's a lot of weird stuff going on that you'll never know about, or at least I hope we don't. I hope we find out about what really happened here, but I bet you Lamorello's got a book in him after this, man.
Yeah.
But he's not the guy that kisses and tells.
No.
So.
Seiji? No singing. I don't know. What do you think? What's the future of Tell 'em Steve Dave? Should we get people nervous?
Why?
I mean, I have a hard time seeing it come together week after week with Q. It's hard enough for him when he has 1 show, 2 shows.
Oh yeah.
Scheduling, yeah.
I saw he's putting up shirts. He must have some gusto left in his. He must have some fire left in that belly for it.
Oh, he has fire for it. Yeah, I don't doubt his commitment in the least, not at all. But yeah, his ability to. He might have to Skype in.
Why? I mean, I don't understand. I mean, he can't be shooting all night. I'm willing to come here after hours. Mm-hmm. I prefer it. I'm willing to come here around 8:00 if so be it. And I'll do it till about 10. I don't care.
All right. We'll have to tell Q, or maybe he'll Skype in for a little bit.
How
does that work?
It's not the same.
Yeah, I agree, but we're not the ones driving an hour and a half from Staten Island.
That's true. That's true. But I don't question his. I just think first week on the show. Come on, it'll work out.
I know. Give us a fucking break, man.
Yeah, come on.
Right? We're not I Sell Comics. Well, even you guys took a little bit of time off.
We did. We were not here preparing for the con. We took 1 week off.
I wanted to ask this question. I was waiting to get back. I wish Q was here though. But Declan sent me a video of you and Mike dancing.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck was going on?
They were like slow dancing?
I don't know what they were doing.
No. Are you familiar with the term Rick roll? You're familiar with the term Rick roll?
No, I see someone gets in a carriage and you
that's a rickshaw. Rickroll is when you tell someone to go to a link to look at something and they go there and it points them to the Rick Astley video, Never Gonna Give You Up. It's a weird internet thing.
It's like
it's like planking.
Yes,
it's been going on for a while. Yeah,
it is.
Okay, so that's why you're dancing to that song.
Exactly.
And it was you, Mike, and
our friend Marco.
Okay.
And there was such a hubbub about the shirts, and you were like, fuck everybody, and fuck the shirts, and whatever. and I put up a link going, what are you talking about? We got
I don't
the
remember
Tell 'em
it being
Steve
like
Dave shirts.
What you weren't here for a week, and I had to sort of ask people to stop proceeding with their plans to make our licensed merchandise.
And there's a big hubbub on Twitter, and they're like, what the fuck?
So you thought it was funny?
I thought it was funny.
Did you watch the video?
I watched
You
the
must have
video.
watched it
Did you
before
check your
posted
work?
it. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
it was embarrassing.
It was supposed to be embarrassing.
I
That's the whole
can't.
point.
How did you convince Mike to dance in that?
I don't have to convince him.
He did it of his own
Yes.
volition.
It was supposed to. That's the point. I know you don't understand. I know you're looking at me like
you thought it was
what the
funny,
fuck?
though?
How long? I thought it was supposed
It
to
was
only be like a couple
perplexing.
seconds. How long was the?
It was like a
video?
minute.
Oh, okay.
And
That's a little long.
and I guess you didn't finish it, but I rapped at the end. It was
Oh,
supposed
did
to be
you?
ironic. Come on.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it. I didn't get to see it.
All right, we'll watch it. It's
You
James.
gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was some people. Somebody came in here and said after watching it, "There's no doubt those dudes are gay
Ming's
for
wife.
each other."
If you want to see it,
I'm gonna need your testimony in court.
I didn't say that.
JaneSilentBob.com/TESD shirt. It was funny. It was supposed to be a little joke.
Where can I find it on what YouTube?
YouTube is on YouTube.
And you put it up there.
put
And
it
you
up there.
thought what? This was a slam at Tell 'em Steve Dave?
No. It was in support of your argument that people shouldn't be bootlegging shirts.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like, yeah.
It was his
That's a
own way
weird
to
way to
support
show
us.
solidarity there.
Yeah, he and Mike dancing together.
Dance, and
Come on,
Mike's
man.
wearing a shirt that says "Tell 'em Steve Dave" knockoff shirt
yeah,
or something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Come on,
how is
man.
that? How on earth is that showing support?
All right, maybe it wasn't.
No, it was. It was supposed to be fun.
They had good intentions.
I don't know. I felt. I
sense of humor, man.
no.
What, do you think it
I
was a
don't.
slam on us?
No, it wasn't.
I'm not a. If you, I love it when you go back and try to get some shots in. You know, you take your full share of them. You and Mike,
Sure, but
deservedly so in this case.
sure. But in the end,
And if you punch back, I'm not one
I'm
of those
not punching
guys.
back.
Brian is though. Brian doesn't like to get punched back. I found,
Why, you thought he punched me back? I'll get him.
but Brian loves to dish it out. He thinks he can take it, but I've seen many times where I've pierced that thin skin.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
Yep.
think was as thin as
That's
I
you.
thought it was.
That's you. I can usually take it.
I don't know about that.
It's like I'm like Mike when Ming attacks him. He's like, "Why? Why, friend?"
no, in this case, I was in full agreement. I thought it'd be funny. I don't know, why not?
Still thought it was funny after
I still think it's funny. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
You're
supposed
just
to be
doing what a lot of people do though, right? This Rick
Rick rolling. Yes.
So what you did was what there must be how many videos you think are out there Rick rolling people?
There are a lot.
He jumped on the bandwagon years after the fact. He's like, "I'm a comedic genius."
Come on. I think the people who were fooled by it thought it was funny, so I didn't
They
see
were
any.
fooled by it.
Yes, thinking that they were going to get it.
So you're fooling our listener base,
Yes,
and somehow you think this is
in a
helping
funny
us.
way. In a funny way.
Hey, it's
No.
you know what? At least you know. It's a funnier joke than ordering a T-shirt and not getting it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not going to happen anymore,
So they don't
right?
get that punchline.
It's not going to happen anymore,
It'll
right?
never happen again,
Official
no.
T-shirt stores
Oh yeah, make the announcement.
open.
That's right. Yeah, I wish I had the link here.
Oh God.
Oh my god!
Oh my
I thought that's
God.
what you were.
I
rolling
believe
into.
I believe it is it TESD.merchanttable.com, something like that.
No,
Hold
give
on,
the
I'll-
right one.
I'll find it while we're talking. Yeah. Don't listen to Ming.
So how'd you think the first week of Comic Book Man went, Ming?
I think it went great.
Yeah? Happy
we're-
with it?
I'm very happy. I think we got some. We got some good stuff in. Brian, you guys were happy. You guys were on fire. I thought. It was fun.
I wasn't unhappy. Yeah, I was. I felt that the crew this year is. It does feel like a team effort.
Yeah.
It does feel like everybody has the same kind of. Everybody's on the same page.
Yes.
It feels like.
Yeah, everybody gets it. Nobody has their grand
conflict.
delusions of
Yeah,
like, hey, I'm going to do it my way. I just had it like 2 seconds ago. Hold on, I'm sorry. I think you were right though, Ming. It is. What do we got here? Hold on.
Come on, man! I'm losing energy. I told you. I
Sorry, yeah.
thought
Come on,
after
man.
the culpa drug thing, I thought
Really?
I was doing my suicide of the week.
No, it's a good vibe, but most importantly, like I'm laughing my ass off, and it looks like you guys are too. So that.
Yeah, there's been
that
some
usually-
pretty funny stuff so
Usually
far.
translates well.
It's tellemstevedave.merchtable.com.
All right.
MERCHTABLE.com. All right, and then they can
And
go there.
there's
and get a shirt.
There's a new version of a Tell 'em Steve Dave shirt, right?
Yeah. There's 2 designs now. Can you believe it?
Ooh.
Yeah. So everybody who moaning and groaning that we didn't offer T-shirts, or
You gonna wear one of those designs on the show this year?
I'll be wearing both designs. So yeah, you can watch me model it. I'll be strutting all over the place, strutting back and forth. So Ming, I want to tell you how much I fucking love Hulu Plus. They gave me a free. What is it, like a free
Like a code?
Code, yeah. They gave me a code so I could check in and watch stuff for free and not have to pay like everyone else. And it expired. You would think they give me like a year for free, but it was
or more.
It was like I think it was like 3 weeks or something.
And how did you find the service? You're one guy who loves watching stuff.
I do. I love watching TV. Man. I love it. I forget how I found Hulu Plus. I forget. Oh, I think when Kevin did his, what was that called? The, spoilers.
Yes, it's on there.
Yeah, that's sort of when I got into it. And, it's fucking awesome, dude.
And I'm a big fan of Anthony Bourdain. All his shows are on there, so I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Modern Family's on there. Like, there's stuff I watch. $7.99 a month.
It's peanuts, man. You can't get anything for $7.99.
2 weeks for free. What is it? HuluPlus.com/TESD. All lowercase. That was a big thing. Lowercase.
Lowercase.
You're not allowed to be negative about anybody else's service either. You should see the rules they gave me, Walt. It's
Like who? What do you mean? Anybody else?
like if there are other like competitors.
Oh, you can't slam
Don't slam the competitors to contrast and compare how great Hulu Plus is. Yeah.
Is there other providers of
Yeah,
this
you
content?
can't. Yeah, so you can't slam like Flicks or you know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff. They have a laundry list of rules that we've probably already broken, like 3 already. But Andrew, who's that? Anthony Bourdain. What's
Yes.
that? Like cooking
Food.
show?
Yeah, he travels and he eats. That's all I want to do in my life.
Travel and eat.
Yeah, and he's cornered the market on that. So
All right.
Well, it's not as if there's not clones of those kind of shows.
no, but he's kind of got the best one. So any
Is he English?
No, he's American.
Your comic book man's Ming Chen. This seems to be like the natural. Like you now have people's ear. Like after this show is done.
Yeah, I'm freaking beloved, man.
Yeah,
Like,
more beloved than Walt.
That's true.
So that's your natural move into the travel eating show.
Yeah.
What would you eat? Like you're the guy who's like, I'll eat anything.
I would.
Kangaroo balls.
I'm sure.
Kangaroo anus.
I eat hot dogs. So what's really the difference? They put all kinds of weird
What
shit.
does it
in
say
there.
about a guy who'll do that though?
I don't know, man.
What
It's
is it really?
somebody who's like
I think
starved for attention.
No,
Starved.
This comes back to
absolutely
were you,
not.
do you,
Guys, look how I'll debase myself.
do you but do you think I don't want to get too deep, but on a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of attention did you receive as a child? And a bit,
10
being like you were
Michael
smothered.
Jackson.
You were smothered with attention.
Okay.
And 1 being like, you were put in a closet and burned with a hanger.
I've
How
gone
about 0?
I've gone the lower scale. Let's say a 3. I
Wow,
was a
so
normal
it's-
kid, didn't get a lot of attention.
I don't know if that's normal. A 3?
Yeah.
No, that's not normal.
No, that's not normal. Okay, so I mean, I
And
think
this is coming from somebody who didn't get a normal amount of
What did
attention.
you- what
either.
were you
Less
at?
negative attention.
Well,
Well, hey, man, I'm in the
okay.
same boat
would
as you.
you say a 3 on yourself?
Attention wise, yeah, I may be a 4 or 5, like an average amount. But I mean, I didn't really want attention from my parents. I just wanted to be left alone.
But,
Or when you're talking about when you're
everything
young?
screams. Everything I hear from you, and I'm not. This is not fooling around. Everything I hear from you screams. It sounds like you actually are just the opposite. It sounds like you actually did want it, though, and you didn't get it.
Did want it? Well, I'm just trying to cover up right now. Shh, I don't want to know that.
So
Really.
so like maybe so that may be why you like he it's instead of like cracking on him. Maybe it's just something he didn't experience as a child. So that's why he adores it now.
Yeah, it's cry for help. That's why
Not a
he
cry for
came
Not a
off,
cry
right?
for help.
Sorry.
Yeah, you
Not a
didn't
cry
get it
for
when
help,
you were
but
young.
it explains a lot, though. A 3.
Yeah, I think so.
You didn't get it when you were young, so now you can get it, and in spades, like way more attention than you ever would have gotten as a child.
Or as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good.
I mean, I'm not
But a
going to stop
3
cracking
though,
on
a
him.
3 is alarming. No,
Is it? All right,
Yeah.
well,
Your parents really did not care about you.
no. Is it? You think it's a cultural thing?
yes, absolutely.
Not a lot of outward
Exact guess.
They thought he was their daughter for the first 5 years.
Tried to kill me. They wanted a son. Tried to drown me like one child. The one child rule. I was like, wait a minute, wasn't he born in America?
We gotta start over.
Wow, you know, I mean, I feel bad now. I didn't expect you to say it 3.
That's how it
I'm
was.
sorry.
So Hulu Plus, everybody.
Shake it off, Walt.
Hulu Plus.
Somebody's got to keep this guy in his place. Yeah, Hulu Plus.
Hulu Plus. Everybody feeling good about themselves now? Go watch it.
If you're
go watch
above a 3.
empty entertainment on Hulu Plus.
Yeah, go watch some, Anthony Bourdain, The Layover, or what were you watching? Spoilers, Kevin Smith spoilers. Or
If you're above a 3, you're gonna feel better than Ming Chen. It's just,
3.
I know.
Oh God.
HuluPlus.com/TESD, all lowercase. $7.99 a month, 2 weeks free. It's fucking awesome.
All right, good.
Audible.
All right.
And I guess you can, Declan, you can.
Is he still doing it, even though he's
You
on?
fucking better.
I don't think he's.
Is he
around,
still
bro.
off getting puss?
He is.
You haven't heard from
I don't
him?
think he's not going to be doing anything with your show this week, bro.
He's going to be, okay, if people.
All right, hey, Will, you listening to Wilkins?
To contact Will Wilkins?
Wilkins, you listening to this?
Wilkins, Declan's dropped the ball because he finally got some ass. Can you imagine this guy has this? I include this in the commercial too, Wilkins. I don't want Declan getting off scot-free. He's got himself a lady. It's rather new though, right? Is it a new relationship? That's
Well,
why.
good for him, man.
Wow, man,
Everybody deserves some romance and love in their life, don't they? What they
Not
have
Declan.
they have to be chained to the soundboard for Brian Johnson.
Whenever I'm
The
ready.
guy
to
who's like, I'm usually not like this. I mean, but everybody should know my name at a con, and Declan should be my sound slave for life, and never know the affection of a woman in case I got a podcast to put up.
Yeah, I mean, at any moment I can be like, hey, we're going to put it up, and he should be there, and he should be ready.
Exactly.
You are out of touch, man.
No, Declan works for me.
Oh man, dude gets his own studios. Get some ass now.
I know,
Wow.
he got Creaky Studios off our fucking backs, and now and now he's got himself a lady.
Oh,
Did
I just
he
imagine
secured
her.
a lady off of the podcasting pimp that he is?
I don't know. Do you think he dropped us, or do you think he dropped Mark Maron?
I don't think either. I bet you it was
Either?
Kevin Smith.
He was on his way out of fucking Disney.
That's what I like to hear in an
Maybe he
email.
was the one dressed as fucking Tinkerbell
From
in the fucking
Declan.
men's showers.
If this is a new relationship that happened, post becoming involved with the View Askew and Smodcast, how quickly in the relationship did he drop "I work for Kevin Smith"? That I always wonder and I wonder if it meant anything, because I would imagine, like, to some people that'd be like,
Oh, I don't mean to drop knowledge, but have you ever heard of Kevin Smith?
like, and I think I don't say it would mean nothing to some people. I mean, but I think it would mean nothing to a lot of people if you're like, oh, you work? What are you, an actor? No.
Not exactly.
I mix his podcast. Oh, what do you mean? Like, well, I make sure the sound sounds good.
I mix his friends' podcasts.
Not a lot of cachet, I don't
No,
think.
not that much.
All right, so
She's like, all right, well.
got this lady on his own then.
Good for him. Who knows? Oh, I know that. I guess she lives in Ireland, but she had to go to the England or something for 3 weeks. So he crossed over. He's chasing her around,
All right.
trying to get some. He can't
yeah?
go 3 weeks without it. Yeah,
Who can?
yeah. She might forget me.
Out of sight, out of mind. He knows. He knows the drill.
Right.
Tell him Steve Dave is low on the priority list.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fucking teach this guy a lesson, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, audible.com.
Oh, yeah.
Is that also /TESD, I believe? And what are you going to get? You're going to get a free book, free audio book, and you're going to get free 2 weeks. And if you don't like it after 2 weeks, then you cancel. It's that simple. But I would recommend, because we have something in the offering, hold
Probably
off.
next week.
Hold off until next
I don't know if
week.
you should. Oh, shit.
But you know what? I'm not going to say hold
I'm not going to
off.
say hold off, but
I'm not going to say not to hold off. What I am going to say is that something very cool will be up on Audible very soon.
and you could use your free download to get it.
If that's what you want to do, you want to use your one free credit to get this very cool thing that we're going to tell you about that may or may not be.
Probably next week.
So
No, it's not.
No? Oh, it's not on.
No, it's not.
Okay. It's not. Cut that out,
Will
Will,
Wilkins,
please.
please cut that out.
Cut that part, or at least bleep it. Yeah, next week. once Declan's done fucking doing his dirty business. Can you imagine? Do you think Declan makes good love? Do you think he's like really?
Oh, how long has it been since the last time we did it? I imagine he's probably out of practice.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think
He just
might
like
be.
he like instinctually reaches for the paper bag.
Now, what on earth would make you even question that? Because he works in the sound department, in the sound field?
No, because he's always doing that. He's always locked up in his house with his cat doing sound.
Oh, yeah, so you get out of practice. Isn't that like riding a bike?
No. No way. I mean, sure. I mean, like the very basic mechanics of it, but like, you think Declan's holding out a long time? Like, you got to practice that, like, you know.
I would say Declan's on. I would just buy the limited exposure or emails. I mean, he sounds like a guy that could probably hold his own.
Yeah.
An average.
Has he mentioned it in the emails?
Yeah. He's laying pipe.
Yeah, that's his signature. He's like, hey, pipe with the best of them.
Sincerely, Declan.
What's a good average, Ming?
What do you mean?
Like, on sitcoms you hear, like 3-minute wonder or 1-minute wonder. What's a good average to hold out?
Sitcoms, he hears it at home. What are you talking about?
15 minutes?
15 minutes
15 to 20, I think that's reasonable, yeah.
So that's almost a half hour, though, right?
That's pretty, yeah.
What's the longest you've been able to go?
Me?
Yeah. Not like without. I'm just saying, like, hold out. Like, you're like, okay. And you notice to yourself, you're like, whoa,
and
man,
they act like,
I am the Mac Daddy. This has got to be almost a half hour.
It's like almost half an hour once.
Half hour?
Yeah.
You've never went over the 30-minute mark?
No, but I mean, I had AIDS too.
I thought you were going to say I had AIDS. I was with somebody who had AIDS. It really helped. It really helped keep me unexcited.
I had help. I was using one of those. The fluffer.
Oh God, I'm really spinning a roulette wheel here.
I was using one of those.
Oh, come up, HIV.
No. I was using one of those condoms with like the numbing cream or that shit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I know. It was like, it must have really kicked in that day.
Debbie Chen's like, wear this.
No,
I oh, yeah, and you were just like going to town? She's like, oh, Ming, what happened?
Going to town and it went, it was like half an hour, which I
nice.
thought, yeah.
He got that glazed look on his face like you're talking about the car.
Yeah, when he's talking to Bellman and shit.
Are you with us, Ming?
Yeah, then it came back, it was like, whoa, still going. Yeah.
Look at you, man.
It was fun.
Nice.
By the way, that URL, audiblepodcast.com.
I'm sorry. I always get it wrong. audiblepodcast.com/TESD.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? If you can't get to it right away, so be it. Next week, we're going to have something pretty cool.
All right.
Pretty cool available. And, like I said, 2 weeks free book.
Yeah.
And it's not even that expensive after that. It's pretty good.
It's great.
Right?
You're right.
You can like get the Kama Sutra maybe.
You can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, learn how to hold out longer than Ming
Yeah.
Chen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what the Kama Sutra teaches you?
I thought it taught you different like positions and stuff. Yeah, it would be tantric.
Yes.
Are you
Tantric
interested
sex.
in something like that, or do you think that's just frivolous and just
nonsense? I'm willing to. I would try it. Sure.
Well, you're into that yoga now, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you've been putting that to good use. The yoga.
Increase my flexibility. You do the math.
So you have been able to parlay your yoga expertise at home.
Sure.
Yeah, nice. I saw his footprint on the back of Mike's head. Flexible little motherfucker. audiblepodcast.com/TESD.
Get it.
Actually, I'm glad we have to sort of do an abbreviation. We've been talking all day long, and we got to leave. Got to get out of the store at 6, Ming. But I wanted to. This caught my eye this morning. Teen dressed as Tinkerbell breaks down in tears after being denied entry into Disney World because she looks too good. Now, the number of times I've had this exact issue, not dressed as Tinkerbell, but looking too good.
Yeah, you can sympathize.
I
think you're misleading. Her costume looked too good.
Yes.
It wasn't that she was too pretty or
Not
something.
that she was too fine, yeah. She's 15. April Spielman spent hours getting ready as the character to try and make her boyfriend's first visit to Disney World memorable. So she wants to dress as Tinkerbell. And this is, I was saying to Walt earlier, this is the length to which a 15-year-old guy will go to get some ass. He's dressed as Peter Pan.
Yeah, come on. Come on,
looks
dude.
pretty pathetic. He looks pretty sad. So they get in there, and this girl's only 15. She was only allowed inside after she covered up the costume with a T-shirt because officials told her they did not want visitors confused with a Tinkerbell character that poses for photos and signs autographs, which is what she was doing, right?
Well, I guess her costume looks so darn good that people assumed that she was an official representative of the park.
Yeah. And they can't have that because you don't know what this person's going to say. You don't know what this person's going to do. They don't work there.
Right.
Like you couldn't have somebody coming in looking better than Ming helping people with stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Why? So, question number one: why do you got to dress up to go to Disneyland?
Well,
Okay.
why do you got? Well, I mean, isn't that why do you got to dress up and go to a con? It's the same thing. It's you want to do it. You enjoy showing off your great costume.
Your
That's really
cosplay.
the only place on Earth that you're going to get appreciated for it.
All right, I suppose.
Yeah, or a Halloween party or something like that. But the rejection left this girl in tears. It just broke my heart, adding she had gotten up at 4 a.m. to prepare a costume. I didn't want to take off the costume. They were talking. Now, this is the fucking line that killed me. They were talking about how the little girls, it ruins their dreams. But it ruined my dreams because I just wanted to be Tinkerbell. For Christ's sakes, man, this is a 15-year-old girl. Like, give me a break. And there are pictures of her. She's not kidding around. There you go. Well, I mean, she looks as I've cried less when I've lost close relatives than this person.
And where did you find this? This actually made the news?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
I
on
know.
the
That's the crazy part.
This is on
That's a crazy part.
dailymail.co.uk.
How do these reporters who work for this website? How do they come across these
How do
stories?
they know? I wondered that too.
Yeah.
Like she had to have contacted somebody, right?
Yeah, I don't buy it.
My makeup took 2 hours. My hair took another hour, and then I had to spray my body in glitter and paint my nails. No, you didn't have to do anything. And,
You're very you're becoming crotchety.
becoming.
You're becoming me though.
Yeah.
Came down on people. Maybe magic markering TSD on their shirts.
If that were the case, yeah.
You're coming down on this poor girl. You're becoming me.
I know. Well, I see how successful you are in getting people to like you.
Yeah, they sure do like me.
Yeah, this kind of stuff does bug me. I don't know why. It's like every once in a while I'll see something like this where I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. Like, one, like you say, this is newsworthy.
Right.
And then two, like, I just wanted to be Tinkerbell. Like, I would, if that were my daughter, I would take her for psychiatric counseling.
It's attention.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yep. I need
And
attention. And when I didn't get that attention, or I got like sort of attention that I didn't really want, like now I need to cry and call the news.
So I'm going to get more attention.
Yeah. It worked
Best
out for
thing that
her.
ever happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how.
No,
I don't know
it's all-
how she makes it work any more than it is. But if you wanted attention, at least you got a little bit of it right now.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, but they really do gloss over the fact that that her boyfriend dressed like Peter Pan and she gets smacked in the fucking mouth.
He didn't get
Oh,
reprimanded?
whoa.
Not by me, by say another 15-year-old, or maybe his dad. Just be like, come on, dude.
All right, before
Like dressed as Peter Pan. Look at that picture.
before we
Christ's
go
sakes.
though,
Yeah.
can I read you something that's going to pick you up because it definitely picked me up
Okay.
from my Kovalchuckian depths of despair. I got an email to my PayPal account, and which was a little bit surprising, but it's from a police officer.
Running.
I'm a police officer here in Southern California. I want to thank you for what you do for comic book enthusiasts and Americans everywhere. I listen to Tell 'em Steve Dave every 12-hour, 4 days a week night shift. And let me tell you, the show is the perfect respite from the horrible things I see daily. When I have to respond to a gang shooting, a dead baby, or a traffic accident with 3 dead teenagers mangled in the wreckage, listening to you, Brian, and Q helps to mentally wash my mind, prepare me for the next call with a smile on my face and a helpful attitude. I protect and serve because I love my country, and it is a respectable position that requires integrity and personal sacrifice. But you guys potting on a weekly basis, talking fat news, 1 True 3, or listening to Q's latest whiny bitch helps keep me in a good mood and focused. Anyway, I hope you guys read this and realize how much you do for civil servants like me and who have to work the long hours away from my family. In that respect, Tell 'em Steve Dave is my second family. Always here to pick me up when times are tough. Rangers eat nuts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Huh?
We got to work harder to make so that Tom Steve Dave is his first family.
Can you imagine that though? That's what I really always secretly wished for, was like people of that kind of stature spreading the word.
Yeah.
You know, like people like police officers. I mean, to me, that blows my mind that a police officer responding to crimes and murders.
Yeah, puts you on a high level.
And then he comes in, he's got to solve a crime, and to do it, he has us in the background listening to it.
Yeah. Then you hear what he's up to, and then like somebody's like, "I will let me go to Disney World dressed as Tinker Bell." Like, what the fuck, little girl? Get some perspective, you dope. I put body glitter on.
Took me 2 hours.
Yeah, it took me 2 hours to put my costume together.
Yeah.
My boyfriend dressed like Peter Pan.
Ruined my
Oh,
dream.
this makes me sick. Yeah, all right, man. We're fucking police officer's best friend. All right?
That's cool.
I mean,
That's cool, man.
we're there. We've reached it.
Mm-hmm. Pinnacle. So what we're going to do is we're going to, first we're going to give you a couple commercials because, 18 minutes worth of Tell 'em Steve Dave and then a couple commercials seems fair.
I thought you were tacking something on to the end.
We
of
are
this.
going to, yeah.
What do we got coming
This
up?
episode's not going to be 18 minutes long.
No. It'll be me rambling on for an hour after this about, we did a panel at the Miami Comic-Con. These guys, I don't think Mike and Ming would have ever wanted to leave Miami. They were major stars there.
Really?
Hey, you were a major star too, man.
You should have seen the way these guys got treated.
He came back and he told me with absolutely not one hint of humor in his voice. He goes, "Should have came to Miami." He goes, "A lot of people asked where you were. You're almost as popular as I am."
Yeah.
Oh, and he wasn't
Or
fucking
beloved. No, I used the word beloved. You're almost as beloved as I am.
Yeah, he said that without a hint of irony, without any kind of like facetiousness in his voice. He thinks he's beloved, and you're here to tell me he's right.
I gotta tell you, I didn't see anything to the contrary. I was physically ill for 4 straight days.
Come on, man. You were beloved too, dude. I went through a photo gallery last night.
Oh yeah.
And I'm flipping through. We had these photo ops, celebrity photo ops. They had a professional setup, everything. Scrolling through the pictures, see George Takei. Right in the middle of all that, there's pictures of Brian Johnson with fans, smiling fans next to him. You had your own photo op.
It was strange.
Was it like when the Beatles came to America? Would they get back to the rooms with all their clothes ripped off?
Oh, I thought you meant like were they waiting for us when we got off the plane and people are screaming. No, it was once because they shared a room. It was once they were in the room together that their clothes got ripped off.
2-state room. We were away from our wives. It was a long trip.
I don't know. Did you ever get the feeling that maybe there was some some girls that would have
At the con?
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you and Mike,
sure.
huh?
I don't know about Mike, but
Oh, that's awesome. I did almost get into a scrap though.
You did?
Yeah. The very last day. First off though, the photo ops, I'm just like, we don't get any of the money, so I don't really feel bad. I guess that's a con thing, but people will, like, you could come to the booth and we would just take a picture with you. Or you could get this, what's called a photo op, and it's $40 to get a picture with us.
With Ming Chen? With each or all together? 40?
All together.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
Well, then there
It
was
would cost you $120 to get a picture with a comic book man? Wow. I could think of about a billion better things you could spend $120 on.
You could lose 120 and feel better about it. But there was, and I had to go on Sunday when these guys weren't there. It was, and I looked, it said photo op, and it was just me. And I was like, I'm like, I told Ming, I was like, I'm going to go either way because I got to go because I was obligated. But I was like, when nobody shows up, I can talk about it on the show. But like 6 people showed up. Okay. I was surprised. And you just feel, I'm like, I don't know. There's just something about it where I'm like, I don't know why.
Where was the photo op at in your hotel room?
No, it was actually at the con.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm like, come on.
that would be awesome.
I'm like trying to lure people in. Yeah. It just feels weird. You're like, why?
Do you see any indication that it is affecting anybody? That kind of adoration.
Is it changing anybody?
I think it's allowing Ming to be more, to be a little bit more embracing of that kind of attention. You know what I mean? Like it's not really changing. I don't think it's not changing Mike. I don't think it's changing me. Ming really goes for it. He loves it. He's like, come on over. He's like a carnival barker when we're in our booth, clapping his hands. He's like, I love it. And like, I don't know what he loves. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. You know how like he just says weird shit. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, they played it pretty cool. And, okay. We, although like the only criticism I would have for Ming over the entire weekend is, he has to learn when he's doing, interviews. He zones out, and literally zones out where I'm like, is he conscious? Like he doesn't look like he's in the room even. And there are people that are going on and on and on. And I'm like,
you want me to cut them off?
Fuck yes, cut them off. Especially like, they had a 2-hour block, and some of the people, it was like you're supposed to have 15, 20 minutes each. And there were people where I was like, I cannot believe how long this motherfucker's talking uninterrupted. Alan Bellman and Al Plastino. Al Bellman, I guess, was a Captain America artist, writer.
They were both artists.
Had this little like back and forth old man sort of like routine that I thought was pre-planned, where they were calling each other Jews and like weird stuff like that. And at one point, Bellman's telling a story about he's like
walking down the street or something.
He's talking about walking down the street, and then he's talking about a friend of his. He's like, he was a good guy, and in 1942. He was arrested. He put in prison for murdering a woman in his hotel room, and people sort of like laughed uncomfortably. And he's like, it's not funny. He was a good man. And people are like, what the fuck is he talking about? And why is he telling this story? There's no like beginning. There's no end. They're just going on and on and on. And like for the 20 minutes that they blathered on, I would say maybe 8 minutes of it was like, wow, this is pretty funny or weird enough to be interesting. So that would be my only criticism of you. Like next time you just you got to pay attention and just be like, cut people off. Like,
all right. You're good at that. You're better. You're much better at that. I mean, you cut me off all the time.
Yeah, I had to, man. But anyway, so there's this big room. It's called the big room, where that's where most of the shows are and everything. That's where we had the Y Bri. That's where the comic book men panel. And the green room is at the end of that. So that's where, you go and get a free drink or whatever. So you could walk through the room where the actual con is, or you could walk through the big room, and the con is way more crowded. So you go through the big room as a shortcut to get to the green room a little faster, which is what we did every single time. And then Sunday morning, that's what I went to do. And I walked through the door, and there's a con person. I have my headphones on. There's a con guy standing there. And as I walk towards him, he stiff arms me and starts literally pushing me backwards. Mm-hmm. And the music wasn't turned up so loud that I couldn't hear it. And I just I knocked his arm down. I go, who the fuck do you think you're putting your hands on? And he goes, you can't come through here. I said, you can just tell me that. I said, you don't need to put your hands on me. And he goes, you were trying to push away past me. Like he's still giving me shit. And I'm definitely not like, do you fucking know who I am? But honestly, you should know who your guests are. Yeah. At the con. Sure. You shouldn't be shoving them around. And when he said that, he goes, you were trying to push away past me. I said, I was not. I said, put your hands on me again. I said, I swear to Christ, I'll knock you the fuck out, asshole. And and it was one of those things where it's like, I don't know what it was in the moment. I'm not super aggressive or anything. And that's not really me to get into fights and shit. But the fucking attitude and the face on this guy, I just wanted to fucking smack him. Yeah. And I considered fucking ratting on him, going to, Broder, the guy who ran the con, and being like, what's with this fucking jerk off pushing people? Cause it doesn't matter if I'm a guest or not. It's like anybody who walks through that door is a person that's going to the con. It's like, don't fucking touch them. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Yeah. Right. It was really fucking irritating, man. But I ended up not ratting him out because I was like, fuck it.
I don't think it's when you only got fired, it was the last day anyway.
I know, yeah.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. But yeah, that was my one near scrape. Other than that, pretty smooth, man.
Yeah. Wow. You could have missed Y Bri.
Yeah.
Your big show. 5,000 people showed up.
Yeah. I heard it was 4,000 actually.
Let's just say 5.
All right. We'll say 5. I'll cut out 4. That was a big show. That was pretty fun too. But yeah, that's it, man. Go to, what was it? tellemstevedave.merchtable.com. You can get yourself some shirts.
Yes.
Hang in there if you want to listen to the Q&A I did. Anything Goes panel right?
Yeah, anything goes.
I didn't record the second one. I really should have.
Yeah, I wish. All you gotta just whip out your phone, man.
Yeah, I can record it on a phone, so that's probably why the what isn't so great. The quality. That might be all right there. Fuck it, it's good enough.
I know.
And that is that, right, for this week, Walt?
That's it.
Hopefully next week we'll have BQ back, fire in his belly and all that.
So hope so.
All right. So if we're changing the lives of cops, all you other little people, you ants, man, I mean,
Hey,
it should be good enough for you.
you should be in a euphoric state of bliss right now.
Yeah, man. It should feel like you're on fucking acid.
I really like how you guys have balanced a very casual approach to the podcast, but you also have like set things like booty time and everything that you go through. How did you guys find that balance as you went by being both casual and conversational, but also having like segments?
I'll answer you in just a moment. If they take long enough to set this up, I'll answer like 2 questions and I'll be out of here. So how did we? So how did we find the balance?
Yeah.
Well, well, booty time was Walt's thing. That's just him trying to unload stuff. I would say more like the commercial aspect of it, because like when we first started, it was one, so I didn't commit suicide. Did it go off again? Oh, fuck it.
I love that it died on the word suicide.
That's a little better. When we first started, I remember we recorded the first one in November, and Walt agreed to it because he thought that I would just, within a couple weeks be like, fucking, I don't want to do it anymore. Which happened at first because I didn't know how to edit, so it took me a long time to figure out how to cut the show and turn it into the first episode. But then we started really going in February, I guess. That's when we first started. And obviously we had like a leg up because of Kevin's audience. People were going to give it a listen. We didn't have to really truly build from the ground up. But at the same time, it was sort of difficult because people are like, well, fuck them. They're Kevin's friends. Like, who cares about them? Until people, like I always thought Walt should be heard by a lot of people. He's a pretty interesting guy. And with the commercials, I personally don't like doing commercials. I don't like them being plopped in, which is why we do them the way we do them. We don't just sort of, I'll bring my niece on, or we'll, not Nissan car, like I'll bring my niece onto the show, the CG and Done Hour or whatever.
Yeah, you guys make those commercials like they're part of the show. Like you don't want to skip past them. You want to hear them. And Walt formulates a lot of them.
Yeah, like he did the last
the Dollar Shave one. I don't know if you've heard that one.
Basically, we sort of took I did anyway. I took it from Stern. Like I remember listening to Howard Stern in the 80s into the 90s, and when he used to do the live reads, and he made the commercials sort of seamless, like he would make them into bits. And I mean, if you go back, sometimes the commercials we do are like 17 minutes long because we'll get sidetracked in the middle and start talking about something else. But to me, the balance is, I guess, like Kevin has to pay for all the downloads and shit. It's not free, so we can't really be like, fuck you, we don't want to do commercials. So it's just sort of balancing, like, not too much, I think. So it's really hot in this fucking room, isn't it? Not to really focus too much on the business aspect of it and try to sort of maintain what we started in the beginning, which is just to sit around and shoot the shit and have conversations, Don't get too greedy or too corporate, And I'm really stunned that we haven't been dropped by more sponsors, like Hover.com. We accused them of being a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, like flat out.
I was like, that has to be it. There's no way they'll re-up with us, but they like it.
You flat out called them thieves.
Yeah, but first, I guess they must get, what are they called, conversions? Conversions.
Yeah, they're like, holy crap, and they signed up for like another 3 months.
Yeah, we literally have like 18 Hulu commercials to do over the course of the next 4 months because I guess people like them, and sign up. We got to do a worse job, I think. I really need iced tea. Is that guy going to come back to you?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
My mouth is so fucking dry. Take Adderall so that I can focus.
Hold up. Are you here to do anything we need?
I guess.
I know.
Yeah,
I've done nothing but fuck up so far, man.
I was told to moderate. I'll sit down, man. By all means.
Oh, no, I'm kidding, dude. I'm kidding. Chill. Listen,
all over again.
No, like, can you, are there any can you fan the guy down?
He's got a drink there.
Yeah.
He's seen it.
Trust me, it wasn't from them. I had to earn this.
So,
Q was a part of the podcast, if I remember from really from day one. He was kind of part of you and Walt's little group. How do you guys know Q?
Q was, he sent in, I guess it was like right after Mallrats came out. He was, you know Mike Zapsik's not here, right? She's consumed with Mike Zapsik.
Yeah, she loves Mike. She loves Mike.
He is here.
He's here. Mike's over here.
The seat's next to Redacted, right?
Q was a fan. He was pretty young too. He was like maybe 21, 22. And he went into a bookstore who wouldn't carry the Mallrats companion and took what I guess then was like just like a little tape recorder, since there weren't really cell phones and shit. They weren't that popular at the time. And started yelling at the clerk, to like asking him why he didn't carry it, and gave him a bunch of shit, and they argued back and forth, and sent in the tape to Kevin. And I guess Kev liked it, and he emailed him or called him, or he eventually hired him, as an intern to do shit around the office. And then when Kevin got into like merchandising stuff on the website, Q started to run that. And one of my first interactions with Q, because I didn't really know him, and it's like we're pretty tight. Like, I mean, when you have friends, whether it's us or you, it's like, you know, like outsiders, like when you get older, it's really hard to sort of like penetrate that circle and get in. And so when Q was working there, we weren't overly friendly with him. And I was working at the store, at the comic book store, and he was working at the website. And he came down to the store, he left, and it was me and Mosier, I think, was there. He's gone for like 10 minutes, and then he came back like dazed because he had just gotten into a car accident and his car like flipped on the side. He got like sideswiped or T-boned or whatever, and the car rolled over, and he was just like dazed and shit, you know, like he came down and he was like, I just got into a car accident, my car's totaled, you know, they're towing it away. And I laughed at him because, and I said, you know that when you're driving, it's not the driver that sucks the dick, it's the passenger that's supposed to suck the dick. You gotta keep your eyes on the road. And he just sort of walked out and called his mom and was like, hey, can you come get us? Can you come get me? But it was, he stayed there long enough that he's a really cool guy. I love Q. He's like a brother. And he ran a website for a while, and then left, then came back, and then he became a toll taker fireman, and now he's on TV. You know, so that's sort of the Q origin, I guess. Are you wondering why my mouth sounds so crackly and dry? It's because this motherfucker right here cannot put together a simple iced tea. That's why.
What's up with Cryptozoic Man, and when can we see it? Are you working on it?
I'm writing issue 3 right now. Issue 1 and 2 are done. Walt just finished the pencils for issue 2. So I believe it's supposed to come out sometime in September. I think like this season that we're about to shoot is going to follow the
creation process and the publishing and.
I don't think it can follow the creative process since we're almost done, but I think we're gonna have like a party, like a launch party or something like that, they said. So I'll show you.
Look at this guy.
Wow, that is the clearest iced tea I've ever seen. Thanks.
Fucking welcome.
I told 2 different staff guys like 5 minutes ago.
That's why this is Baltimore, Miami, and not San Diego.
Oh,
that's right, I said it.
The first person to mix up Miami with Baltimore.
We're going to Baltimore, actually. Yeah, we're going to.
You ever turn on Miami Vice and it's The Wire? It happens all the time.
Yeah, we're going to go to Baltimore Comic Con this year. I was just told. Wait, what was I saying now? What was it?
Cryptozoic Man.
Oh, yeah. So at the end of this thing, if you want to come by, I'll show you one of Walt's pages that's inked and colored and all that shit. It's pretty cool. If you want.
I do.
Okay.
Come on by.
It's going to happen. All right. No other questions? That's it?
I have a question.
No.
What?
No, go ahead, man.
Spit it out.
Why is this con not organized? No. Yeah, that's true. Has it been weird being on a reality show? Have you both of you guys, you have to adjust it all playing for the camera? I mean, because podcasts to me seem like the freest form of media, and then reality shows don't. So what's that switch been like to take a podcast and then put it on a show?
You want me to answer that?
Answer it.
Okay.
Answer it up.
Well, one of the things that we've dealt with, and to me it's kind of obvious because it's TV and it's like people were annoyed that the show wasn't Tell 'em Steve Dave except being a reality show. But you really can't. One, Q isn't there. There's a third of the cast would have been there. And two, it's like you can't just have a TV show where people are just sitting around talking, I think they expected more cursing. More like weird stories and shit. But it's about comics, So that has been the most annoying thing, is explaining to people why it's not just a podcast on TV. I would much rather it be animated, because then you don't really have to do any work.
Yeah, you just take what you've said already and sit back and
yeah, like the Puppet DVD. The Puppet DVD that we put out is, I think, one of our greatest achievements because, oh, wow. I mean, it's not Snapple, but... What's it?
Brought you a cup of ice as well, and I apologize for the delay.
Thank you very much. This is all mine.
Puppet DVD.
Puppet DVD, yeah. So, everything that we had to do was already done. We didn't direct it. We didn't create the puppets. We didn't do anything. We looked smart, though, so don't anybody say anything outside of this room. But, the guy Thorne Winter who put it together did such an awesome job.
Phenomenal.
It's really, really cool, yeah. And I'm not just trying to sell it to you if you haven't bought it already. But to me, that would be perfect if they would just, kind of like they did with Gervais on HBO, just sort of animate, the podcast. What was the question asked that I'm sorry, I'm very distracted.
No, it's okay. No, about, transitioning from...
Oh, the transition?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's not really, to me, it's not really that different of making fun of me, Mike, or if there's a camera.
Yeah, I think people are like, do they really make fun of you like that? And I'm like, no, it's worse. It's worse. When there's no cameras, it's worse.
We hit him when there's no cameras.
Yeah.
The thing that I didn't like about last season was the producers, who I talked a little bit about this. Kevin and I did a live show in LA. And I talked a little bit about last season versus the first season. And last season, I didn't really care for the producers. They had their own ideas. They came in and said shit like, this is going to be 10 times better than it was last year. Which means that they think last year sucked. They never watched the episodes from the year before, so they have 10 times better than what,
Yeah.
And it sort of made you feel that the year before was, substandard or whatever. And I really liked the producers from the year before, so immediately I was butting heads with them, and I told the DP who I'm friends with, within 3 days I said, these guys are assholes. I said, I don't think that they really get it, And I was right, but it took a long time to get to that point where Tom here, he's in the back there, he's our sound guy. And at one point they're telling us that we can't talk to Tom, that outside of crew and cast shouldn't be mixing. They shouldn't be playing poker together. No fraternizing, yeah. And
We play poker every Tuesday night.
Yeah. And I'm not good at listening to people, especially people who have who have like they have this idea that they're in some sort of like authority position of authority, you know. And so I didn't listen, and I got into a lot of arguments with them, called them names. Like Stan Lee, the day Stan Lee was there, and I don't know if anybody read the New York Times article, it made it look really horrible. Like, it made it look like the production was sort of like really half-assed, right? Which it was. And at one point I came in from outside. They always took forever to get anything together, these producers. And Stan Lee's at the poker table where we do Tell 'em Steve Dave, the shittiest poker table. I can't believe we haven't upgraded yet. It's like falling apart. People write like racist shit on the film. We have to like cross it out all the time.
And then people do it again, and we keep crossing it out.
I would pay to hear Stan Lee reading some of it, you know.
Yeah. And I walked in from outside, and Stan is just like this. There's a fucking 89-year-old guy, right?
An icon.
He'd been there for a couple hours. And Ming and Mike were standing by the counter. Walt was there too, standing by the counter. And this guy, Wade, he's one of the producers, is talking to somebody else, laughing it up and shit. And I walked up to him and I said, how about you fucking douchebag producers get on the ball? The fucking dude is falling asleep over here. And he didn't like being called a douchebag, and he didn't like being told to get on the ball. And his face was like, I think if he could have hit me, he would have. And he just turned around and stormed off. But at least things got done after that. But it was constant. They wanted me to say shit over and over again, which to me is like, you say it once, and Walt has like a very, I was talking to Tom about it earlier, Walt has a very authentic, genuine, and infectious laugh. And if you get him that first time, you're not going to get him again with the same fucking joke, you know? And it just doesn't come out the same, you know? So you have to constantly come up with different things to say. Which doesn't sound that hard, except you're doing it for fucking 8 hours, you know? And these guys were just not good. They wanted it to be what they wanted it to be. They wanted, they were trying to do, like, instead of the podcast portion, they wanted to shoot what they called OTFs, or on-the-fly interviews, where, they put a camera on the person who brought the comic book in, and they're like, whoa, why did you come in today? And it's like, asshole, because I'm trying to make money. Like, it's the same answer every time. We're really excited this year because the original guys are coming back from season 1, and we're not going to have to deal with these fucking idiots anymore. Like one time, here's a perfect example of Ming and I were up in the front of the counter, and some Australian guy comes up, and he was talking. He was selling something you liked, actually. It was
G.I. Joe comic books.
Yeah, G.I. Joe stuff. And the bit ended like the bit ended, and which I thought was funny, because Ming was like, "What'd you call me? You called me like." You called me some kind of name.
Yeah.
I walked away, and he was just like, Ming called me a name, and I thought it was funny. And so this guy's like, okay, how about we try it again? But this time, because, I know what it was. I was talking about the Coriolis effect, like, in Australia, the water going down the toilet bowl the other way.
Yeah, the other way.
And so this guy's suggestion is, like, instead of what I said, he said, how about this time? He was like, say, Ming, if Kevin Smith finds out you paid that much for that comic, you're going to be going down the toilet bowl the wrong way. And I just looked at him, and by this point, I did not give a fuck about their feelings. And I said, I'm not going to say that. And you want to know why? Because it's not funny. I was like, it's nothing I would ever say. And you try to shame them into shutting their fucking mouths, but they just wouldn't do it. And so I didn't say it, obviously. And I called Kevin, and I called the lady at our executive at AMC. And I told them both, I said, I'll finish out the season, but I said, this is me saying this. If these guys are back next year, I said, I don't want to be on the show anymore. And so Kevin did that, and he fired him. Which was good. I mean, they just didn't get it. They just didn't get the theme of the show, which I found really counterproductive. And the reason that I think the show sort of got saved was because the original guy, Brian Michelle, who's the showrunner, spent months in editing, fixing shit. And then we reshot a couple things.
That answer your question?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I talked so long I can't remember what the question is.
This is transitioning podcast to,
You've read Clerks 3 already, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to have to get too detailed, whatever you want, but I'm just asking because Randall's based on you, obviously. Does
What do you mean by obviously?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yes. Randall rules. Does Randall get some booty? And A, have you been asking for Randall to get some more play in the series? Are you happy?
No, come on.
I've been so disappointed at the amount of pussy that Randall has gotten in the Clerks movies. It's really disheartening. No, I didn't request that Randall get any, but there is a girl that he is interested in. I'll say that much. And he rewrites it like every 3 days. So
yeah, so you never know.
Yeah, it's really difficult to tell how it's going to end up.
As he said, and as I've read before, the character of Randall is based off of you. But is it just me, or is the physical similarities between Randall and Walt uncanny?
Randall, you mean Jeff?
I mean, just the character of Randall. I mean, the sweatshirts to the backwards devil's hat to, I mean, just kind of some of the mannerisms. I feel like if someone didn't know better, that they would guess that Walt, that the character of Randall is more based after Walt.
So visually, you think he looks like Walt, but the asshole personality is on.
Actually, no. I when I first saw Comic Book Man, I immediately assumed that Walt was the basis for Randall. And then when I looked it up on Wikipedia, it said he was actually the basis for Jason Lee's character.
Yeah, Brody. Yeah, like the little Dixie cup thing, and which is all true. Like when I worked at the Rec with Walt, every morning he would, and it was like, who the fuck drinks Pepsi at 8 in the morning, you know? But he would come walking across the parking lot, and have a little thing of Pepsi with him, and like he's not a morning guy, so he's like half asleep and shit. But yeah, like very protective of his comics, really into the comics vault thing, and when we first. When Nintendo for the Blades of Steel game first came out, I remember we got a bunch of shit because my mother got it for my brothers for Christmas, and we found out, me and Kevin Walt, so we took it and opened it up and played it. And she was annoyed at that, but fuck it, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? It's Blades of Steel.
If Randall's going to have a love interest in Clerks 3, is he going to end up sleeping with his love interest's mother?
I hope so. It's not a documentary.
No, it's not. You don't have to repeat everything.
How long have you known Kevin and the guys, and how did you all meet?
Kevin I knew in high school. Like, I knew of him. We weren't really friends. He was like a little drama bitch, you know. He was into plays and all that. And like, I was on the basketball team. I was a jock, if you can fucking believe it. And Kevin would be the guy who was like videotaping the games. So I knew of him, and I remember he actually was the only person who made me laugh. I was like, my first like real girlfriend and I had broken up. We had gone out for like a year or whatever, and she cheated on me, gave me crabs. Keep that in mind, boys. You don't want that kind of girl. And I remember I sat down at the table, and he said, hey, I heard that you and Bev broke up. And he was Beverly, and I said, yeah. And he's like, you mind if I fuck her? And it actually really made me laugh. I should have kicked his ass, but it was only after he started working at an after-school program. It was called the CASE program, Children's After-School Enhancement. And nobody was enhanced. It was me, Walt, and Kevin. You know, come on. And Kevin started working there part-time, and Walt literally didn't say, because this is Walt, he didn't say anything to Kevin for like 8 months when they worked there. And I started working there, like I became a lifeguard. I was also a lifeguard, if you can believe that. I really fucking let myself go.
Did you ever save anybody?
Yeah, I saved 2 people. 2 people. Awesome. I'm a hero. Man. It was shortly after Walt started hanging out with Kevin that I got the job at the Rec, and I started hanging out with Kevin too. And it was, I remember the exact joke. Walt said that he didn't really talk to Kev that much, but there was a kid who was like sick. He was like who kept coming into the Rec, and he was like sick for like a week straight. And Kevin did some like Amish impersonation about how he would never allow the devil's elixir to touch this kid's tonsils or whatever the fuck, and it made Walt laugh. So that's all it took, and that's when we started going to comic book shows together. And we would, those comics used to come out on Fridays back then, so we'd go get comics, get lunch, and it was like a whole weekly thing, and then Muse started working at the Rack, and we were talking about it on SMOD a couple weeks ago, how like Harley just turned 14, and Muse was 14 at the time that we started hanging out with him, and like you think back to like we didn't ask permission, but we took a minor across state lines.
You guys were all like 19 or 20.
Yeah, we were easily.
So 14-year hanging out with a 14-year-old.
Yeah, we were like, hey, just come on. And then on the way back, for hours we would ridicule him about blowing guys for comics and taking him in the ass for comics and all kinds of shit. And I mean, I can't even imagine if my 14-year-old came home and I was like, hey, so
what'd you do today?
Yeah, how was your afternoon? I was like, oh, it was pretty good, except these guys are really twice my age. Ridiculed me.
Your mom was a heroin addict.
Yeah, well, he actually, at that time, he lived with his aunt. So, but you know what? I knew her from church, and I also went to church for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, Methodist. So I think she, since she knew us, it wasn't, really that big of a deal to take, But I'm sure if it was a girl, it would have been a little bit different. So far, I haven't gotten caught taking 14-year-old girls across state lines.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of directing another movie?
I've thought about it here and there. I was actually, when I was in LA a couple weeks ago, I was talking to Muse about getting something together, doing something on Kickstarter, but I don't really like working with large groups of people, because then you meet people like asshole Tom back there, the sound guy, and you have to deal with him every day. I'm more like solitary. I like to write and do my own thing, or very small groups of people. Plus, I don't know. I look at movies that are out there, and it didn't occur to me until afterwards that Requiem for a Dream came out at the same time, the same year that Vulgar did. They were in the same film fest. And I look at Requiem for a Dream, and I look at Vulgar, and I'm like, how dare I? What the fuck was I thinking that I could, But it's just one of those things that Kevin's like, hey, we have this money from Miramax, it was part of an overhead deal that he was allowed to make 4 little micro-budget movies. And he's like, why don't you write a movie and direct a movie? And like an arrogant dick, I'm like, sure, why not? Really knowing nothing about it. But I watched Requiem, and I was like, holy shit, who am I to... I'm just better at what I do right now, just making fun of Ming,
You're good at that.
Shooting the shit. I don't even really particularly care for being on TV either, it's like, this is not something you really want coming into your home every night, That's why I like the podcast a lot more, and you can get away with more on the podcast. But perhaps, I don't know, maybe if me and Muse... Actually, Quinn and I wrote a pilot for a sitcom that I really, really like, and I wouldn't direct it, but we're thinking about doing that for Kickstarter too.
What was the sitcom about?
It's about these 4 guys who, in the age of the internet, decide to start a brick-and-mortar dating service, and sort of the hijinks that ensue. It's run by a guy, 3 friends who are in their early 30s. And their former wrestling coach who got in trouble for dating an underage girl in high school and got fired. But they keep him around because they feel guilty, and they still, for whatever reason, respond to him as if he's still their coach.
When you guys are all together, whether it's Comical Glen or you're doing your podcasts, you guys have these natural flow of conversation of what's the best fight scene, the best nemesis. I find with my friends we're having the same conversation we've had for the last 25 years. So how much of that is right there, that conversation? How much of it is planned? Do you guys have any of that when you guys are talking?
How much is planned for the TV show?
Yeah, when you guys are just what's the best villain fight? Who's this?
Sometimes we will come up with it in advance. Somebody will be like, well, what do you want to talk about? And then we'll just make a list. And you don't necessarily, I don't like to know ahead of time what we're going to talk about. I would rather it be, so you don't overthink it. In the beginning of the season, we came up with a whole bunch of topics, and we ran through them pretty quickly. So a lot of times it'll be the day of, and I'll be like, okay, what do you want to talk about? Do we want to watch Mike cry about E.T. again?
Aquaman or whatever. How can we make Mike cry?
That was actually one of my favorite reactions to any banter topic. Was
the E.T.
Yeah, the E.T. shit. Oh, God. That made me laugh.
Does anyone ever truly win those arguments? When you're having like a who wins in a fight argument?
Of course not. It's impossible. It's not real.
Yeah. I think the first person who mentions that is the one who usually wins.
This poor guy has lots of questions, man.
Bits and pieces I've heard, but when Clerks was originally filmed, you weren't really a part of it because you and Kev got into some kind of disagreement over something you had posted at the store or a sign.
Yeah.
What the hell could you have written to piss off Kevin Smith when you didn't talk for 3 months?
Well, it didn't piss him. The sign didn't piss him off as much as what happened after, like the fallout from the sign. The way he tells the story makes me look like a real asshole, and I promise you, he's exaggerating. Like, what are they singing about?
They're waiting for like the whole entire holidays home stuff.
Let's not use the word people.
Kevin asked me to work a shift for him at a Quick Stop because he and Walt were going to go to a comic show, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to, I was like real outdoorsy, if you can believe it, at the time.
Really reinvented yourself.
Yeah, really. I was going to go to a park. I was like going to barbecue and shit with my girlfriend, and he said, I'll be there by 11. So Kevin is notoriously late. I mean, late for fucking everything. And so 11 came and went, 12 came and went. By 1:30, I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna sit around anymore. Like the day's escaping me. So I put up a sign in the window that the store was closed because of an outbreak of bubonic plague, and left. And I mean, now I would be arrested. It would be like terrorism and shit, terroristic threat. But I left, and that evening Kevin called me, and he was like, why the fuck did you do that? The cops were down here. They want to know who wrote that, why they wrote it, blah, 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 all this other shit. And we were like sort of bickering back and forth, and he said, hold on. And I held on for like 20 minutes. So I hung up. And then he told me later on, he was like, oh, how dare he hang up, And I think there were like a couple other little things that at play that like he felt I didn't write him enough when he would like, because there was an email, so writing letters. Like I'm his fucking woman at home or something. He's fucking after war,
This is when he's at film school, you mean?
Yeah.
After film school, you didn't write him enough.
I didn't write him enough. And honestly, I probably should have written him more. But it just stays in this room. I don't want to look like I was wrong. So it's sort of like, in that moment, it's sort of like everything fell apart. And I was like, oh, fuck it, And I mean, it's not like I knew he was going to make Clerks at that point either, because that was probably in the fall of the fall before he made Clerks, and I think he made Clerks in like March or something like that. What was really strange though is like, even though we were at odds to the point where we weren't talking, we would still hang out at a certain point. Like it would be me, Walt, Kev, and then this other guy Tinny who worked at the recreation center, and we would play foosball against each other, but just not talk. It sounds fucking ridiculous when I say it out loud, right?
Like when you finally did reconcile or talk, were you like, because you've known at this point for quite a few years, were you like, this is the point when you chose to fucking do something when we weren't talking?
No, I didn't really think that. No, he called me one night. It was, if he made Clerks in
93.
Well, in March, I think it was like May, he called me. And I thought I was like, because he's a stubborn motherfucker, like I am too. And so when I heard that, I think it was my girlfriend, was like, oh, Kevin's on the phone. Like, I was scared. Like, I thought something really bad happened to him. I was like, oh, God, what is it? Who's wasted all this time? My friend came in. My boy went off to war. But he had gone to something called the Forum. Yeah, his sister had gone.
Is it Landmark?
Yeah, it's like it was like a self-help. What would you call it?
I've been to one of that's like a seminar for, bettering they're like for just $700.
Don't say what I just said in different words.
No, it's Scientology, but without the movie stars. That's really the best way to, it's a cult. Yeah.
It was a little cultish, like it had a cultish vibe to it. But anyway, I went with him, and that's the first day that I met Mosier. So I went down there, and he got something out of it. He liked it. And the only memorable part of the night, though, was when we were on our way back. We somebody was following us from Philly. It was in Philadelphia. We were going back to New Jersey, and somebody was following us, so we had to pull over to this parking lot to wait for them to catch up with us. And it was in the middle of nowhere, man, like on this stretch of highway. It was a strip club, but the strip club was closed. And there's one lone prostitute walking around in the parking lot in this really, imagine me in a skin-tight white dress. You're doing it right now, imagine. Shy a couple teeth, and coming over and asking us if we wanted to date, and us making stupid remarks like, "Oh, we don't even know you, you know." Surely we can't date. To me, that was the only real memorable thing of the night. And I said, "Fuck it, all right, I'll go. I'll go to the forum." And I think I made it through the first half day, and I was like, "This is some cultish bullshit." And so I left. And ever since then, he was like, "Watch the movie, tell me what you think," that kind of shit. And, it's been hanging out ever since then. So it was like a stretch of maybe, 7, 8 months.
What were your first thoughts when you watched the movie?
I loved it. I loved it, and I was like, wow, he really captured the day-to-day bullshit of that store, Because we worked there a lot. In the beginning, I remember he was looking through, this is when he used to go through the classifieds to try to find a job, and he came up, and I was the only one with a car at the time, so I said we could borrow my car to go to this interview at a video store, because he was into movies and shit. So he went, he got the job, he came back, and a week later they needed somebody else. So he asked me if, I wanted to work there too. And I needed to train. It's a convenience store, so of course the guy Tarluchin Topper, his name was, needed to see me in action to see if I could handle the rigorous daily demands of a convenience store. And I almost didn't get the job because he thought I couldn't find the cigarettes fast enough. The cigarettes are above you, so if somebody's like, "Hey, give me some Marlboro," he thought it was taking me too long to find the Marlboro. And Kevin was like, "Give him a break. It's he's bright enough. He'll get it." So it was about a year before they were a traditional Indian family. So the husband, the wife, and the son took off to India for 9 months. And we ran the store. We were in charge of everything. Ordering, stocking all this shit, opening it up. It was basically our store. You're ruining everyone's good time.
Oh, come on. Got it.
Fuck, what did you ask again? What did you ask?
Why
are you asking so many questions, man?
Quick stop, Topper, he left for 9 months.
Left for 9 months. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with it, but yeah.
We ran the store.
Yeah, we basically...
I asked were you not a clerk?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So a lot of it was accurate, always fucking dead people, but there were a lot of, it was a super, Kevin in Time magazine once called our town white trash when he probably should have said working class or blue collar. Everybody got mad about it, but I'm sorry, it's we grew up in a white trash town. And this town that RST and Quickstop is pretty much the same. It's white trashy, real racist guys. There was a guy who, he would come in to the video store and he would take a movie, and his question was, "Are there any coons in this picture?" That's literally what the guy would say. And I didn't know it at the time. I only found out after my aunt traced my family tree that I have black blood on me. I have a black great uncle. I would have been fucking right. Power to the people, sister.
Black.
Otherwise, I would have been way more offended. But it was just the idiocy of these people is really captured. The whole don't you mean I got to drink this coffee hot? It's not exactly that, but it was pretty close to it, just the minutia that you at that time you were so consumed with, like the relationship shit and the hockey stuff. Like we did. Like I remember not playing hockey on the roof, but we would close the store if we wanted to go do something. Like close the store and go to a movie sometimes. And people would be like, "What the fuck? The store was closed for 2 hours." Well, we didn't have anybody to answer to. So, yeah, we weren't great workers. We probably shouldn't have been managing the place. That's what you get when you go off to another country looking for a bride for your son. Then.
Yep.
Okay.
What are your top 5 favorite like movies to just watch with people? Just like your stuff you watch when you want to just bullshit around.
To watch with people?
Like no, like your go-to bullshit watching movies. Like what is top 5 favorite movies?
Probably all the Tracy Lords underage stuff. No, let's see. The like stuff I just put on, like if I'm like working or just hanging out.
If you're bored, I put on the Monster Squad. I get bored, I just pop on the Monster Squad.
Yeah, it's not the Monster Squad. I put on Jaws a lot. I'll put on, let's see. I don't know. I don't really watch movies that much anymore. I find myself watching a lot more like serial TV. I'll put on, like Friday the 13th's an easy one. Phantasm, I'll put on.
Horror movies.
My parents have a sex tape I put on sometimes. Feeling randy.
Like I said, horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
One Night in Pam.
Nah, it's called The Black Hole.
What TV show are you most into now? Serialized.
It sounds totally like I'm a company man, but Breaking Bad.
That's great.
I love Breaking Bad. Kevin and I and Ming went to the upfronts, which I didn't know what the fuck they were, but it's basically it's like all the advertisers come to they have this big party. The advertisers come, and then it's people from casts of different shows come and you mingle. I guess it's like a big deal for the advertisers. I mean, not for us. Like they don't give a fuck about us. I don't think. Because like Charlie, the head of AMC, right?
Yeah.
He was talking to like all the people that are on the shows and talking about what accomplished actors we are, and I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm standing next to the woman who plays Megan in Mad Men, or what's his name, Odenkirk.
Yeah,
I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, we're not like them. We're nothing. But we found out that they're going to do Talking Bad, much like Talking Dead. It'll be like a little wrap up for the last 6 episodes. And I told the executive in charge of the comic book man, I said, I know that like let's say that when you're getting people for this show, like you have scraped the bottom of the barrel, and then you're like, well, what's under the barrel? I was like, that's where I'll be waiting to get on Talking Bad, And she said, well, really? She's like, you can do it. Because we don't want people who are like have an agenda or like promoting something. They just want people who love the show. And so she's like, you can definitely do it. Now, I talked to her the other day. She said it was still a go. We'll see.
How do you think the show should end? As a fan?
Breaking Bad?
Yeah, that's a big question everyone's thinking of.
I mean, it's like
they didn't show all 8 episodes at the upfront.
No fucking way they would ever tell me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's sort of like The Sopranos. Like, how would The Sopranos have ended that anyone would have been happy? Like, if you kill Tony, people are unhappy. If you put Tony in jail, people are unhappy. If you let him get away with it, people are still unhappy. So, I mean,
cut to black.
Walt, and I mean, Walt's really fucked up now. I mean, if you watch that first episode, like, this is a guy who was like a total babe in the woods, He's annoyed at his students mocking him for polishing rims and shit, Like, that's the height of his annoyance. To now where it's like, he seems almost like he's a sociopath, I don't know. If everyone's not caught up, I'm not going to give any specifics, but his character arc is amazing, from a guy you felt bad for to a guy where you're like, what a scumbag.
Yeah. It's a great supervillain story.
Yeah.
Couldn't even avoid it at all just by taking his friend's money.
Yeah. But it's the pride. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a total price for him. He was. I mean, when he told Jesse that story, it's like that said it all right there. Like why he wouldn't take that money, especially why he wouldn't take it from that guy. You know. So anyway.
Have you spent all your Zune money yet? And
Zune money?
Yeah.
Zune money was in my dealer's hand years ago, man. Are you fucking kidding me?
And is there a favorite moment or episode from Overkill?
Oh wow! I mean,
it was years ago, but it's
I mean, the ghost hunting episode was pretty fun. Mostly because Quinn got so mad that somebody has to use his bathroom.
I watched the Cropsey documentary too, you guys.
It's cool, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Overkill was something that we did for Zoom. It's amazing that they ever asked us to do that. I guess it was like the last sort of gasp for their answer to iTunes or whatever, and they started paying people to do podcasts. And for whatever reason, we were one of them. And we talked to some of these paranormal guys, and it was spread over like 2 episodes, I think, right? Yeah, and then we went to it was an old tuberculosis ward in Staten Island, which is really cool. It's like I love those kind of abandoned places, and they had their paranormal gear and shit out, and it's just so silly. Like, it's just so absurd to watch these people in action. You're almost like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Come on. Yeah. It's like, I just heard a little girl saying something. I don't know. It was all right. Yeah, it was fun. I think the ghost story, because we went out in the field and did our investigative journalism. Not really, right? Because, I mean, if you believe in ghosts, then you have to believe in God, right?
What about the number stations? Do you believe in those?
No, yeah, gotta, right? I mean, they exist. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. But what they're for, I guess, the number stations is, debatable.
Yeah, I heard that, and it freaked me out. It was creepy.
I bet you the number stations are something as simple as spy stuff, giving messages to spies in the field or whatever.
How do you feel about Edward Snowden, spy or whistleblower?
I don't know. I feel like I'm too dumb to really make a judgment on something like that, because on one hand, I'm like, the fucking government is listening to conversations and poking their nose into your private lives where you're not even aware of it, and they really don't belong. But on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know, what the fuck do they care what I'm doing? I mean, the conversations that I have are not interesting. The emails that I send begging girls to send me topless photos of themselves are more pathetic than anything. Yeah. It doesn't really bother me that much. But I guess it's when it takes the next step into more of a Nazi Germany, Big Brotherish kind of atmosphere that if you don't nip it in the bud now, I don't know. What do you think? Did you hear him? Or is he a jerk off? I don't know.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I mean, he took an oath to not give away the secrets, but at the same time, the government's not supposed to be putting their nose in our business.
Yeah, but do you see how many people have access to those files? It's like fucking 2 million people or something. How did 2 million people keep a secret? That's just
9/11,
that's silly.
that's the conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
How did 2 million people keep a secret?
Yeah, I watched I watched Loose Change, that 9/11 documentary, and it's like I can hop from side to side so fucking quick. I'm like, holy shit, the government did it. But then, same with the moon landing, I hear one side, I'll be the worst juror, the worst judge, I'll be flip-flopping like crazy.
That's it. Yeah.
Is that it, or?
I think so.
We're going to take one more.
Yeah, I got a ton of questions.
7 after.
Hey, it's supposed to be until 6:15,
right?
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Don't rush me, bitch.
Which comic book character would you love to write for that you haven't already written for, and why?
So, in other words, every comic book character out there. I don't really read comics that much, and the stuff that I like, I'm not good enough to write for. I feel the same way for TV shows. If somebody were like, "Hey, man, do you want to write for Breaking Bad?" I'd be like, "Fuck no, I would ruin it." I like to just sit back and be a spectator like everybody else. So if somebody were like, "Do you want to write for any comic book character?" Maybe something really obscure. Maybe Fool Killer Part 2. Jerry Pop-Tart.
The scene in Clerks where they go to the funeral, and I guess Randall does something. Seemed oddly specific. Is there a story behind that, or is that just something Kevin made up?
There used to be the Mexican restaurant called Garcia's, and we would go there all the time to get fried ice cream and, what's that fucking chicken chimichanga? And we, one time we went with these two girls, and one of the girls, mothers had died recently. And, Kevin and I made up a whole story about, not the nipples in the burial dress, but, so along those lines. And, in retrospect, it's like so mean and cold that we're laughing at her. I wasn't even,
dead mother.
It definitely wasn't even a month yet. And, we were making fun of her mother, like rising from the coffin and, that kind of shit. And like, embalming fluid coming out of her nose. So yeah, that's where, like, a lot of the things in Clerks are just like little snippets of conversations that, you have, and he takes them up to, a totally different level. Yeah. Do you have your arm around her?
Yeah.
Is that your lady?
Yeah.
Look at you, man.
Right, man.
God damn.
I know you like to follow point the celebrities sometimes. How do you feel about Kanye West naming his kid Northwest?
How do I feel about Kanye West naming his kid Northwest? I mean, I don't care. I honestly don't care. But, we would need another hour to talk about that.
But I think what you do care about is all the other people who care about it.
That's what I don't get. That's what I try. You know what? I have to say, though, I was impressed with Kanye and Kim Kardashian. With this little scheme they had where they sent out fake baby pictures to all their friends to see, like, let's say, like, I sent one picture to Meng, I sent a different picture to Mike, a different picture to Tom, of babies, and then if a picture of the baby shows up on Perez Hilton or whatever, then which one of your friends is the leak. I was like, God damn, that is clever.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian, who knew?
There's a brain in that ass.
Yeah.
I was reading, Kevin wrote, I don't remember when it was, it had to be a couple years ago, he wrote a 9-part series about the history of Jason Mewes. And he had a really funny story about being in the rec center, and he said it was the day he knew Jason Mewes was going to be his friend, and he busted in the door and started just filleting everything in sight. And I wonder if you have a similar or a story of Jason Mewes from when he was younger that you can remember that just really stuck out in your mind as the funniest thing he's done.
I was there the day that he did that.
Were you? Was that as funny as it sounded when Kevin?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Hughes, it's weird. It's impossible. He used to do so much shit, It was one of my favorite Mewes moments though was when he was enraged. He was going out with this girl who found out that he smoked weed, and I guess he was supposed to be straight edge at the time. And imagine that, like you smoking weed is like the height of his fucking insubordinance. And he was so proud of this hat that he had that had like a pot leaf on it. He wore it constantly. He thought it was the shit. And I'll tell you something else that I just remember too. It's pretty funny. And to get to the wreck, there was like they called it the ditch. It's like it goes like the river would come up, and there was like it looked like a canal almost. And there would be a bridge from the street to the wreck so you could get into the recreation center. And they're arguing, and then, like, quick as a flash, he snatches his weed hat off and throws it into the ditch. And, like, the tide there is very strong, so, like, the water moves quickly. And just watching that, like, you remember that episode in The Simpsons where, like, Homer's, like, he's in the water, and it's like, or I think it was Maggie, maybe, and, like, just gets taken out to sea, like, in a blink of an eye. It was like that, just watching that hat disappear and him fucking screaming at it. It really made me laugh. And another time, Walt and I would play him and there was another kid, John, I think his name was, we'd play them in foosball. And Mewes had this shirt that it said Sports Hound, and it was like a fucking dog that was like had a basketball and a volleyball and a football. And we told him, we were like, if you lose, you got to wear Sports Hound for 2 straight weeks. So he lost it. He wore Sports Hound for 2 straight weeks. And another time, he was carrying like they had what they were called youth workers. It was like these kids from the school that, I don't know why they did it, but like the summer program is set up so that like little kids from, 6 to 12 can come down to the recreation center. You give them breakfast. you do activities with them, you play sports, that kind of shit. And the main workers would be like me, Walt's wife, and 2 other people. And then you would have what were called the youth workers, who were the most troubled and disturbed, like high school students, who, like, I guess to keep them out of trouble, they were like, all right, we'll put them here. But now they're like role models for all these little kids, and it was like people of Muse's caliber, like fuck-ups. So one day I remember there's this other kid, Corey Newman, who was constantly Muse would constantly pretend he was gay and wanted to kiss Corey Newman or would dry hump him. And like Corey Newman was touched and he would be like, like, leave me alone. Not like retarded or anything, just, fucked up. And just Muse carrying a huge box in, not realize, like he was mocking Corey, who like had dropped something ahead of him, not realizing that the box he was carrying had bleach in it, and that the bleach had broken open, and just watching the bleach stain his clothing, just taking the color out of it as he's like, ha ha ha. I was like, you fucking idiot. Like, your clothes are ruined. There's a ton of shit that went on down at that wreck. Like, I would never let my kid go there. Never in a million years.
Still there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it got taken down by the storm, but they have it up at the school now. For anybody who's going to send their kids to the rec
come on.
Summer. Anything else?
Right. What's your favorite Kevin Smith movie?
It would have to be Clerks.
Yes.
Yeah, which kind of sucks for him because in my eyes, his Swan Song was his first movie. But I like the heart of Chasing Amy. I like the version of Dogma that didn't get shot. Like the first draft, I thought was like, I actually, like, when I read the first draft of Dogma, before Harvey and Bob got to it, I honestly was like, I said to myself, I was like, my friend is a genius. Like, this shit is fucking genius, And it's, the version that nobody will ever see. But, Clerks I liked a lot. It was so from the heart and so, like, visceral and had real meaning to them, And, to me, by extension, because, went through a lot of it with them.
So what did you think of Clerks 2?
Clerks 2? When I read Clerks 2 and we were talking about it, I said, I'm going to tell you this, knowing that most of the audience is going to love it, and you should have listened to me, but I was like, take that fucking dance sequence out. It's like, for Christ's sakes. I was like, what's going on? But then he redeemed himself by putting King Diamond in there, so I was happy with that. That's it. Look at my Ebony sister over there looking at me with love in her eyes.
Yeah.
Me and you, baby.
Love, man.
Me and you. That's it. Everybody satisfied?
All right, man.
All right.
Tell him, Steve Dave.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.